Hello all. I hope you're having a good Advent so far. As you can see, I'm with Father Patrick, and he's all bundled up. And the reason for that, I think, is that...
I was just pumping gas a few minutes ago and no jacket, so when I got to the office, I had to get cozy.
Yeah. So he's also from Florida and Texas and Rome. I mean, you spent 4 years in Rome, fairly recently,
Sure.
right?
That's right. So my weak constitution requires...
Right. And you studied in Rome. That means you learned some things there, right?
Yeah, a few things.
Yeah, so... Anyways, I think he brings a lot of good things to the table. And this is the year of formation. And we talk a lot, we see eye to eye and everything, but you see some things with regard to formation here at the church that you think we could address, right? Mm-hmm. And so I've asked you to write a number of letters recently.
Sure.
How's that with you?
Well, it's good practice, I think, because eventually I have to be a pastor, and I'll be writing letters every week. So it's good to learn how to do that, to get in the habit of doing that. Father John mentioned this as the year of formation, and I've tried to be attentive to what I hear people saying. So I don't know if I really have my finger on the pulse of the parish yet, but what I try to address in the letters are either things that are pertaining to the season. So November, month of the dead, we have All Saints Day, so we talk about days of obligation or days of opportunity. We talk about praying for the dead. We might speak of funerals and that sort of thing, the importance of that for the living and the dead. Sometimes I try to address issues that I hear people speaking about, which might be something like, I haven't written this one yet, but I get a lot of questions about Catholic marriages and weddings in the church and weddings outside of the church and convalidations and those sorts of things. The importance of being married in the church is something to address.
And we talk about those things in Bearing the Beams of Love. Right?
Correct, yes.
But not everybody goes to that. But
Sure. So this might cast a wider net. Annulments come up sometimes. And so while you and I are always happy to speak with people and meet with people on these issues, in a certain sense, it's good to make sure that general information is out there, that people know that annulments aren't Catholic divorce at all. And being divorced doesn't necessarily preclude one from the sacraments, although we have to have a conversation about these things, right? Mm-hmm. And so sometimes these are very sensitive or very difficult topics, but very, very important topics.
That's right. And then you mentioned that through the pipeline, or written on the bathroom walls or something like that, we get this feedback, not directly to you, but kind of like there's some problems. And so how do you think you're going to rub some people wrong, okay?
Well, I have to say, it's, I don't know, oftentimes the feedback is very positive. Sometimes, I've not had directly any negative feedback, though I'm happy to receive that. But when I hear of feedback, whether positive or negative, I take that as a good sign. It means people are reading the letters. People are trying to make sense of the letters.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, I think it's important to remember that when I'm writing, I'm not giving my own opinion. There might be something where I say I believe this or I prefer that, whatever. But one thing that I've learned in ministry, it's not so much about me, right? The sacraments are about Christ, and whatever good we do here at the parish or attempt to do, well, it's not really my parish. It's mine for 3 years in a sense, but it's not really mine. Priests come and go. The people stay here, and so it's how do we build this into the best place, the best place of worship, the best place for a community to gather for spiritual and even non-spiritual gatherings and fellowship and to build a wider community. And so, one thing that we were talking about earlier today that I'll put out there, and this is as good a medium to use as any. As you read the letters, if you read the letters, as you read them, if you have any thoughts or any concerns, any disagreements, anything that makes you uncomfortable, you're very welcome to contact whoever wrote the letter. Maybe it was me, maybe it was Father John. I can't take credit. I'm sure that we probably both get feedback on letters. I don't, how do I say this? being a priest is not a popularity contest, so I'm not trying to gain lots of fans and followers. I don't think you are either. But what we are trying to do is to teach, govern, and sanctify God's people. That's what we were called to do. That's what we were ordained to do. And so I think that Father John and I take that seriously, to teach, govern, and sanctify. And so on occasion, there might be a letter that seems particularly legalistic, like that one on explaining the new practice for exposition here. Why did I cite probably 10 times various documents or books of the church? Because I want you to know that I didn't make this up, Father John didn't make this up, we didn't just decide to do something new as a parish. But we saw that what we're doing is not in conformity with what the church requires and asks, and we have to bring ourselves into that. And so any time that I write a letter, whether it's teaching or governing or whatever it is, please understand this is not Father John or me trying to impose anything of our own, but to say, here's what the church teaches, here's what divine revelation says, this is what God has revealed.
And what the church teaches. We both came from a Baptist background. Basically, Baptist background, it's basically one's own opinion based on how one reads the Bible, that sort of thing. Sure. We both left that sort of chaos. Okay, we came into the church where great minds over 2,000 years have wrestled with these things. And so it's not an opinion. And so, anyways, just this. If you have any problems, please come directly to us. We won't bark or bite.
That's right.
And we all love to converse about these important things.
Well, and one thing I mentioned earlier as well that I just thought of, there is a chance we could be wrong about something. When we state something as a matter of fact of revelation or canon law or whatever else. And if we're wrong, but the best way to do that is to call us, come speak with us in person. We're not going to feel accosted. We're not going to brush you off. We're not just going to be dismissive. But it is really important. I've long been concerned about the relationship between priest and people, and we need to show that we can do this, right? We're all adults here, and that we can talk to each other and communicate respectfully and openly and fully about these things.
Good. And this Sunday, second Sunday in Advent, and Advent is a penitential season, right? That sometimes gets covered over with all the excitement and anticipation of Christmas. But what it is, it's a preparatory time. I got some feedback. Some people direct me. I appreciate that about how dark my homily was last week.
I haven't heard it. Okay.
Well, it is kind of dark, and the readings are dark, So Jesus is talking about the end of times and people being afraid. So afraid of dying. I mean, that's pretty intense stuff. But this week we got John the Baptist. And he is telling people, commanding them in God's name to repent. And the only way you can repent is to become really, really, really honest with yourself about your sins.
Sure. Yeah.
And so that's what we'll be talking about this Sunday, right? Yeah. It's one of those weird things. We all know it's there, but we don't see it so much in ourselves, but we see it in others, right? So it takes an enlightenment from God, really. To be able to see yourself as you really are, it needs an enlightenment. So we got to pray for that enlightenment. It's a revelation, okay? So, and once we have the revelation, then we can have true contrition. Okay, because contrition and reconciliation are important things that come together, don't you think?
I think so. And the letter in this coming Sunday's bulletin will lay out some practical ways towards the end of the letter how we can have a good Advent, how we can to go to confession, to examine our conscience, go to confession, take advantage of the grace of the season.
Yeah, good. So lots of things going on this week. St. Nick.
That's right.
You don't want to miss it, right? And we want to see you at Mass.
That's right.
Okay? God bless you. Bye.
Bye.